As you can already see, crime in America is on the rise and Americans are getting worried. We have brand new poll numbers from Fox News. 70% of people feel there is more crime in the country now compared to 2020, with 54% saying crime has gone up in their own local area. It's getting so bad, even some liberals are concerned that maybe they shouldn't have been so quick to defund the police. Joining me now, the great Dan Bongino, host of the Dan Bongino Show, streaming weekdays on Fox Nation, 12 to 3 o'clock. Dan, I got to be honest with you. Yes, it is true that they wanted to defund the police. They have defunded the police. But crime was already going up in these liberal cities before that. When they defunded the police, it only exacerbated the problem, right?
Yeah, well, I think the big question here, you're not wrong. Certain crimes were going up. Shootings and homicides were going up. But once we saw lockdowns, what happened after the lockdowns is you saw street robberies and other things go down because there was nobody on the street, which makes the increase in shooting and homicides even more unbelievable when you think about it, right? But the real question here is why? What's behind this? Why do liberals live in an alternate reality? It's a serious question. I know liberals, oh my gosh, why are you always yelling at us, Dan, all the time? Because you live in a planet no one else lives on. I mean, you live on a planet where taking money away from the police, firing police officers, attacking police officers, and making them the object of your scorn somehow leads to better public safety. I just want you to know, no sane person lives in that world, but you do. And the question, Lawrence, is why? Why do they believe that? And the answer is our media. Our media has polluted the American media space for way too long. They told people police are randomly hunting down black men and assassinating them midday for doing nothing wrong. And then people, liberals who sucked it up, believed it and said, well, police are public enemy number one. We damn well better get rid of them. And what happened? Now people are dying.
Dan, I want you to listen to this shot from Carmen Best. She was the former police chief back in Seattle. Take a look at this.
I would read stories about, the peaceful protests. I go, well, part of it was peaceful, but I was standing like 20 feet away from a hail of rocks. And I was looking right at them, come hail down like feet from me. I was behind a telephone pole. But, once we know we're going to be getting rocks and bottles thrown at us, I have a responsibility as a chief to make sure people have protective gear. We can't just leave them out there with a soft hat and, rocks are being thrown.
Dan, this is what you were talking about when it concerns the media. And the question that I have is, Carmen Best is an advocate for reforms in police departments. She worked with the community. She really wanted to help bring people together. And even someone like her was lambasted. They essentially cut her salary until she resigned.
Yeah, that's why she's the former police chief. She told the truth. Lawrence, there's a reason I opened up with the media. Obviously, I kind of know what stories we're going to talk about tonight. And there's a common thread with all of them. Again, it's the media. How is it that Seattle had an insurrection in the middle, a literal insurrection? People said, no, this is our territory, gave the double-barreled middle finger to the city of Seattle, said, we're just going to take this over. People were throwing rocks. People were being assaulted. Crimes were happening in this independent insurrection area. They just randomly declared. And no one in America really thought it was a big deal. Why? Because the media told you it wasn't a big deal because it's a liberal city. Lawrence, I assure you, if that was the middle of Stuart, Florida, where I live, which is a relatively conservative area, and it was a bunch of MAGA sign-wearing people who took over a portion of Stuart, it would have been on the front page of the New York Times. But the media is destroying the country, and they're doing it deliberately.
Dan, I need you to level with me because I met you when I was a young libertarian back at Freedom Works. You've always been supportive of me. We've had passionate conversations about the state of this. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. What do you think it's going to take? You've been a cop. You have respect from people in the community. Hell, I thought you was a brother when I first met you. So how do we bring the folks together?
Yeah. Well, listen, we did it. I mean, I lived through it with the broken windows policing era with Rudy Giuliani in New York City. We established, they had a civilian complaint review board. So, you listen, police need oversight like everyone else. No good cop is going to say otherwise. But also, you have to enforce the law. Lawrence, I worked in the 7-5 precinct in Eastern New York, Brooklyn. It was the most dangerous precinct in the city. It was a largely minority precinct, overwhelmingly minority. People used to come out to me all the time and say, hey, this guy on the corner, he's slinging dope or whatever. Please don't tell him I said anything. Please, I need you to do something. He would beg, and I'd feel so bad because I would say to myself, you know, this place is ravaged with crime, and 90% of this precinct is full of good people having their lives torn apart by animals in the middle of the street, and they want this cleaned up. Yeah. So how do you do it? You have to have good police oversight. Obviously, again, no good cop will tell you otherwise, but you have to have effective policing where they enforce the law. If you don't have that, you have chaos, civilization, thin crust on a volcano. Ellis said it a long time ago. You know what that thin crust is made of? Police officers and our military. They're the ones out there enforcing the law and international order. That's it. What do you want? Lord of the Flies? You want Piggy with the, get thrown with the little pig on the stick? That's what you'll have. That's what you'll have if you keep attacking the police. And that's exactly what liberals and their media allies wanted. And that's exactly what they're getting right now with a 800% increase in crime, in homicides in Portland, 144% increase in LA. Lawrence, these are real people dying. This isn't a joke. It's not a talking point. It's not a Fox News, Chiron talking point. These are real body bags in the real world because really stupid people are making really dumb decisions. And one more thing, Minneapolis, after the George Floyd incident, 19 children since then, children shot, kids, because the cops are being attacked over there instead of handling the real problem, that incident of police misconduct.
The great Dan Bongino, folks. Thank you, brother. I'll be watching your new show.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.